What's Benton? What's Benton Jingles?
That's the cops, the two that come to investigate or they're
Okay.
investigating Ruth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When it thinks it's a bunch of dead babies or something, and they find he's like it's all dolls.
And then he sees
Oh,
this actual severed human arm. He's like, "Oh God."
it's got the ring on it, so we know it's Ruth.
hmm
Um, yeah, we've talked about the Ruth part before. We kind of glossed over it. Uh, I don't know what to say about it.
I
What?
don't. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I have to reread it real quick, but I don't remember like what who was she trying to send a signal to?
That's the part that always well, just two parts confused me. It's like it's almost like she was trying to get someone from outside the town to come in to figure out like, hey, something's wrong here. We need to investigate. But you would be the cause of what's wrong because you blew up the freaking clock tower.
Well,
That's
I
the
think
biggest part of the mystery. But also, why did they need to replace the clock tower later with that like photo thing?
I have no idea. I don't
I
understand
think
that part at all.
because they said it was like a gas leak and she was in the basement and she lit a flame and there because it was dark down there. So I guess they're trying to make it look like the clock tower didn't get exploded, which I'm like, why don't you just tell a different story? She had a bad, I don't know, explosive at the top of the clock tower. Like anything other than this whole weird mirage thing.
Yeah,
The
I'm like
mirage says the
that's just
same
unnecessary.
time. It's the same time all the time. What fucking sense does that make?
I didn't get that either. I don't know.
I
I
think
mean,
he's just
maybe to
drunk
make
and
it look
rambling.
like the clock tower wasn't messed up, just the clock. So like she screwed up the like mechanism.
Like, why
Then
didn't we
why
edit
did
that
they
out? I think
change the time to begin with? Leave it at 10 in the morning or whatever the fuck it was.
Because
just
that's
blow it up. There was
well,
a
that
gas
wasn't
leak
thinking.
and the
Well,
clock tower blew up.
But
End of
if the
story.
time is already faulty, doesn't matter what time it states. You say, yeah, I don't know how it got there. That's weird.
I don't think they were thinking logically about that part at that point.
Yeah, this was like they had some juice, but the guys hadn't shown up yet. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she wanted the cops to show up, basically, someone from outside of the town. I guess she figured when they showed up, they would figure out quickly that something was wrong here.
I didn't even think of. I guess
Uh,
that is to have. I thought. I mean, I know Guard is the one that ended up seeing it and kind of sort of getting snapped out of it. I don't really know where his position was to begin with, but like I didn't know who she was even sending that to. But I guess it makes sense if she was just trying to make a loud mess so that people would have to come investigate.
yeah, she sent it to anyone that would respond. And I guess she knew who would respond, probably Benton Jingles, right? But they don't get to leave. They get murdered. And
Vaporized.
Yeah.
yeah, how about it? Zoop, zoop. They got some cool toys for some pissed off people. I don't think that's gonna end. I think I know what happened to the original Tommyknockers. If they're acting anywhere, and these guys are just, acting this way off residue. Imagine, like, if you were made of that shit. Uh, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. Um, why didn't they just let the cops leave and go do their, like, they keep, like, saying, well, this was there, so it won't come back to Haven. Like, the rationale is the stupidest shit I've ever heard, because everything points to Haven, and then they do come back to Haven anyway, and then
I
they're like,
thought,
they just kill them instead of letting them leave.
oh, it's definitely
How's,
not smart. I think the chain of events was they were going to, but they were reading their minds and realized they knew too much. So then they killed them. Like that's less suspicious.
yeah, well, let's throw a deer on the side of the road, and we'll just say deer guys. Because most, hunters are murderers as well.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Like I don't understand. Like make them. I don't know. Does any of that like allow you to persuade people? Like just make them stay near the town and then they'll die or become one of you.
You're making the problem bigger. You're not,
Yeah.
you're not drawing attention away from yourself, not even a
Yeah.
little bit.
Everybody who goes near this town disappears or dies and is like, we don't know
Right? Now
why.
planes are falling out of the fucking sky.
Yeah. Nothing to see here.
Right? Keep moving. Nothing to see here. Uh, but that's because they love you. And we love you. Um, so who's after, so, yeah, I don't, as soon as they like killed the cops, or what do they do with their car?
I was
They
thinking that
left it
too.
there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it was supposed to look. I guess there's like deer hunter criminals. I didn't really
Oh,
get what
right,
that
right.
was.
Okay.
Like
So
people
that was,
hunting off season that weren't supposed to, and they
I
like
mean,
it was supposed to look like the cops caught the people hunting out of
Yeah.
season and they killed
well,
them.
so yeah, if
Right.
you're gonna
Right.
like shoot a deer in, I don't know, June, then I'd rather kill a cop than just, pay the
Get a
fine.
ticket. Right. Yeah.
You
Makes
gotta draw
sense.
the line somewhere.
Murders,
Uh,
but paying fines. Ah.
so Beach and Dick, wait, who got vaporized or who got altered? Dick, right? Beach and Dick is the ones that was cheating at cards, right?
No, that
Isn't that
was
right?
yeah, it was like Ad Ad Chim, something like that. It was like two names. I can't remember.
What's Beach Jernigan and Dick Allison?
Um,
I thought
Beach
that
is
was,
the one who vaporized the cops. Dick is now like the kind of replacement town constable, I think.
what is that chapter? It doesn't look like I
That's
highlighted much
vaporized the
either.
cops, isn't it? The aftermath of Ruth blowing up the clock tower.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, is there anything that I don't remember what it was, so I don't remember if I need to even mention it. So I guess.
yeah, no, it's them fixing the clock tower, fixing the time. Oh, they found a photo, but the time is wrong.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't highlight anything, because all this is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need it. I feel like his editor needs to do a better job. He's like, oh God, see, he's drinking again. Everybody get the red pen out.
Yeah, and
Over
then
the
and then it's
Dairy
just them
Town
killing the
line.
cob.
Yeah, and then after that's what, Ev, right?
Yeah.
Ev's, Ev, so Ev knows there's a problem and he doesn't know what to do about it, I guess is what you'd say. Cause nobody's gonna believe what he has to say.
Well, nobody's
So,
believed him so far.
yeah, I mean, so David's in so if we take David back to, not David, if we take Hilly back to Haven, is he gonna be fine? Is that what's wrong with him?
Well, that's what I
At
was
this
saying.
point, probably not.
Well, take the Tommyknockers poison out of it, but I'm assuming he can't breathe because it's like there's no oxygen wherever he is or whatever.
No, 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 Hilly, not David. Sorry.
Oh, all right, you said that. Okay, right, right, right.
I
Well,
think Billy's gonna die either way because he's too far into the becoming to be normal, but if he goes back to Haven, he's not become enough.
Oh, he's not wanted anywhere.
if he's
Um,
that sick for leaving though, maybe he would wake up if he went back into the town.
I wonder if he can turn the corner. So right now he's in a coma. He got there and basically got worse and now he's in a coma and that's where we've been hanging out. Except for when he like wakes up and says all the G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
He tries to make that creepy. I just wasn't,
Well, he says,
I understood what he meant every time and he made it, he tried, like, but every character, every time he says it, it's like, ooh, that's so mysterious. What is he talking about? Like, well, we know
I
what we know what he's talking about.
found this section real quick. About it's in Ed's section about the woods. The I didn't even want to say it, but um, where am I? It's like chapter 9 or section 9 of that chapter. Which began, it was in Ludlow that they buried their dead when they were decimated by influenza in the 1880s and drifted south with Wawavoka, who presided over their further decline. He died in 1885, and on his deathbed, he declared that the woods to which he had brought his dying people were cursed. It was known and reported. Uh, what was less sure was whether Chief Atlantic was laying the curse himself or making note of an existing condition.
I think he was making note of an existing condition personally. He's like,
But
holy
that.
shit, this place is cursed. Yeah, I love how like the preacher came in and had a bunch of fucking babies and rolled out. That cracked me up.
I mean, preachers are not
I
priests,
mean,
right?
goddamn, these women don't know how to say no. Like, Jesus. I guess a
What about him?
preacher,
He's the one doing it.
well, clearly he's awful, but I mean, it takes two
Well, yeah.
to, yeah, I don't. I don't even know why that was in here. There's a lot of stuff. Like, okay, interesting.
The
There's no
thing is,
other,
he gets these
but
random thoughts, but like he can't think in a short amount. So like even just like a thought bubble for him ends up being like 4 pages. And we're like, cool, we did not need that.
well, he talks about that like as Bill, like you get these thoughts and you trying to get them down on paper before you lose it and you get terrified you're going to forget and all that. That's what it is because he makes it up as he goes. When he puts that pen down, he has no idea where it's going. So then you get stuff like this because he has no idea where he's going. Uh, Usually it works out for the better. I guess when he's,
Oh, trust me, I think it's incredible because it to me that's the closest I can come to like religion, where I'm like, is somebody channeling through you?
yeah, I mean, the limited writing I've done it that way and you can get in a groove where it just seems to keep coming and you can't catch up. And then you can sit there and go, take you 4 hours for 3 sentences. I guess this is why he used to take his walks and try to get some inspiration going. He could have wrote shorter books too. Probably.
I just don't think he's capable of short or anything.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking of, it because he used to take all those walks around the standpipe down there. I'm like, well, if you cut 500 pages out of it, you may have had less walks. But
I
you clearly can't cut anything out of it because that's just one bad thing after another.
was gonna say that's the one book. Well, besides the weird kid sex scene, that's the one book where I wouldn't cut anything out.
Why did the
Yeah.
editor let that through? Oh, the 80s. Yeah, so Ev is trying to convince people that something's wrong in Haven. No one's listening to him.
To be
Uh,
fair, he's leading with, I think my grandson is alive on another dimension or something like that.
Yeah, that's not a way to convince people that you're safe.
all these people would be aware that he's missing and they would probably have been involved in a search, if not just to report on it. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe I guess that I would probably assume Grandpa's lost it because his grandson disappeared. Yeah,
Hmm.
sure, he's on Altair 4. What the fuck is Altair 4? Grandpa's in the
Right.
loony bin. David's on Altair 4. But he finally does talk, uh, the big cop that was Ruth's
Butch.
friend. Yeah. Uh, Into coming. So his plan was very weak.
What
Other
was
than
his
we needed
plan?
to go have somebody get sacrificed.
Right. And
Like
poor Butch
he,
doesn't have any metal in his head, so he just like actually sacrificed him.
Basically.
oh yeah, and he planned on sacrificing him because he bought that fucking gas mask ahead of time and it wasn't for him. Yeah, I don't know what he thought he was going to do. Because, well, he took the cop with him, so that means that they could read the cop's thoughts, so they knew what he was doing the whole time. That was a
Yeah, I don't
dumb
know
plan.
what his plan was. Like, if you need to go in there with a whole army, and even then, that might not be enough.
Right? You need to like, my grandson's in Haven. Go into
Actually,
middle of town and open a door to general store. So like, just go to
you
Haven.
need
Just
to
fucking trust me. Just go to Haven.
try to lure people out somehow. Just pull
They
them
wouldn't be
across
able to
the
get in.
town.
I mean, the way it is right now, like they would get sick just trying to go into Haven as much as they would get sick trying to leave, right? Because it's not,
Yeah.
because the
Well,
air is different. But
unless you have metal in your head, I guess.
Well, at that point, because that they did that during Ruth's funeral, and people out of town were there, so it wasn't quite as bad then, but it was getting bad.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think they'd be able to do that now. Although
Definitely.
Bobby said something about the fucking wind blowing the air out over the ocean and they're all going to die if that happens. Like, whoa, what? It's that easy? Shit. Wait
Yeah,
for the
like,
next
oh,
hurricane or fucking tornado or something.
all of this seems bad.
Like, is all of Haven going to be flopping around in the ocean like dead fish? Cause that's what she made it sound like. I think she said something like that. So I was like, well, shit, I can wait this out. I guess they have to get on the ship before that happens. Maybe is there a point?
guess.
I'm not convinced that like there's anything that's dead, quote unquote, when it comes to these aliens because they're clearly controlling everything. Like I don't know if their plan is to just I don't know. But I feel like it doesn't really matter what happens to their bodies because they're moving towards this like mind thing.
Yeah. So if they're dead, but they have this hive mind thing, maybe they're not dead.
Right, exactly.
Maybe their mind has been existing the whole time somehow, and now they sucked in some more. It's like the Borg on Star Trek. You will be assimilated.
My go-to actually is Futurama because they have one of those long episodes where that happens, but Fry can't get corrupted because he's too dumb, so he doesn't really have a brain.
Hey, sometimes it's an advantage. Oh, the preacher Colson. Yeah. Black hair and sweetie sugar blue eyes about 9 months after the preacher blew town. Bunch of mad husbands. I don't know that I needed a Haven issue. I don't think there's any other books in Haven that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I
But,
think, well,
he's good at those histories. I mean, the It history is amazing. So we just got a little mini history of Haven. Apparently wasn't a big fan of, preachers that day.
I just feel
I
like
don't think he's a
Haven's.
big fan of, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I don't, I don't think he's a big fan of preachers in general.
Well, maybe he
Um,
makes a lot of religious references.
Sea Revival.
I don't think Haven's going to be around very long, so I don't really care about the history, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, one way or another, like this shit's gonna come to a head here soon
I mean,
because,
it's not,
well,
again, I just realized it's a lot of parallels to Salem's Lot because it's like all of the people are corrupted already, so there's nobody left except for like two guys. One guy, actually.
what, did you see the movie, Allie?
Yes.
What are you saying?
Uh,
Hey,
mostly liked it. I was kind of.
right?
I wish he had included the part where Callahan lived.
I didn't even
Where did they
realize he
leave
died.
Callahan?
Does he
Where
die
did
in
they
the
leave
movie?
Callahan? Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah,
Barlow
see,
killed him.
the movie was done fine, but I just
No, he bit him.
could.
He didn't kill him.
No, he killed him.
They didn't say it
In
that
the
way.
remake, he killed him.
I stopped paying attention like halfway through. I just couldn't get into it, so I have no idea how it ended.
I have to watch it again. I took it as
Because they
he,
find
like,
his body the
Barlow
next
bit him
day.
and like threw him into the corner, but I assumed he lived, but maybe that's because I know what happens after that.
Why would they kill him though, unless you're not a Dark Tower fan?
In
You
the
said why
movie?
wouldn't they?
Yeah, like I
I
understand it can whatever, it can always be different worlds, but like there's no point, I guess maybe just to help the movie, I don't know. Like there's no point in killing him because he's a huge fixture in other things.
yeah.
You can't make that movie without knowing his story, right? Like, there's no way you're like, well, no, 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 we're just doing this part. We're doing the book only. I don't care about anything.
I mean, I wouldn't. Salem's Lot is not that like I could see whoever made or wrote the screenplay having not knowing anything about the Dark Tower.
True.
Yeah. No, they shouldn't be anywhere near that movie.
I don't know what it is. Like I think I just don't care that much about vampires because I realize all the vampire stuff I don't get into as much.
Hmm.
But
I've always liked him.
some of his early stuff was fun. Um, there's some stuff in Night Shift. There's a story called Jerusalem's Lot in Night Shift. It's all like, have you guys read Dracula?
No.
Yeah.
Um, it's like all like Dracula's written in the style that's all either letters or autobiographical diary entries. So it's
Mm.
like, dear Mr. So and so, or today I did this.
Like
So
the witching hour
it's,
at first.
yeah,
Sort of.
Okay, well,
no,
whatever.
what?
Not all of it, but there are a lot of sections where it's just like, it's especially what's his name is writing back, like he's
Yeah.
writing
Oh,
letters, and that's
yeah.
how we're finding out what happens. Like Peter, I think.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, like the whole
Oh,
first book.
Petter, Pater,
Pater,
Pater.
Pater.
yeah.
You're talking about the file. Once you get into the file, you're talking about, yeah, 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 like the file.
Right.
Um,
Like half of the book.
Yeah.
that's like the best part of that book. I love the file.
You're not wrong, but it's
Yeah,
still a large part of it.
I'm sad when it ends. I'm on episode 3 on Netflix, so Mayfair Witches. Anyway, so where did Ev end up? Do we know? Because I think
I
I just
mean, come
remembered where
on.
he ends up.
We know.
Probably
But
the
right.
same.
Do we officially know? I guess is what I'm going to say.
No,
No.
what Butch sees him and is like, "All right, bye, buddy. Off to die now."
Oh, poor Butch. I feel like they're like feeding off him or something. And he's like aware of it the whole time.
Well,
Or no, he's
yeah,
not aware.
he's
Ev's
kind of
aware the whole
aware.
time. I feel like Ev's going to be aware. Like
I think
it
Butch is
says something about,
aware. He actually leans. He's like, you know what? I can't do anything, so I just don't even want to be conscious right now.
Well, no,
ugh.
they gave a directive to go back to Derry, write a suicide note, and kill himself.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Well, I meant
Oh yeah.
while he was still there. I remember him being like, before we heard about that happening. I think the last thing from his perspective is like, I just wanted to fade into the fuzziness and not feel anything anymore.
Mm,
I like how they're
I
all
don't,
mad.
I
Like
don't remember that part.
act like, Ev Hillman, what did it say? He murdered, what's somebody? I forget who it was. Like,
Yeah,
no, where do you get off being fucking indignant about somebody getting killed?
because it's not in their plan.
They weren't becoming. Takes on a whole. I'm still not sure what that even means, but it doesn't seem to be. Seems to be very octopus-like.
Yes.
I hate it.
Uh,
Tentacles and vines are just so similar,
uh,
too.
tentacles and aliens.
Uh.
Can I get my aliens without tentacles, please?
Yeah,
I guess
tentacles in space just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know
doesn't
why.
alien have tentacles? No, I guess not. Just a couple mouths.
Yeah,
I mean, what's it called?
I guess
Oh my God.
Predator kinda does, but not. I mean, it's his hair.
What? What does?
Predator,
It's
Yeah.
true.
Well,
They are
yeah, I would
alive.
call those. Yeah, I guess those are tentacles.
They
sort of.
form of uh what is that called? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Uh like Japanese animated porn that uses tentacles. And like
Ew.
aliens specifically with tentacles.
Wait, is there a word for that other than what you just said?
There is, and I wish I could
Hentai.
remember it.
Anipor, and no, I got nothing.
Hold
It's
on.
called hentai.
Hentai, thank you.
Porname,
That's what I
porname. Oh, hentai. Oh, is that what
like.
that means? I didn't know
Yeah.
Yeah, hentai is animated porn.
But I think it
that.
specifically has a lot of to be honest, I have never watched it, but I think it has like aliens and tentacles and stuff like that. So that's why that was
Okay,
the first thing I thought
now I have to hit the button that says it's not made for kids.
of.
Um, I didn't know that.
So
I've seen
I
that
wonder
movie.
if he was thinking about that.
Maybe.
Actually, I wonder if that
Did
was
they
a
have
thing back then. Right. I don't
right?
know.
Did they have that in the 80s? Maybe that's all they had, but they were like drawings, not animated. You go get like a hentai book, uh, like a
A
flip book.
flip book, yeah.
Oh, that's funny things to say about it. So I forgot the trooper made it out. So he goes out and kills himself, and nobody's suspicious because he killed himself at home, even though he just came back from Haven. So what could possibly go wrong?
They are suspicious. I guess they just didn't think that people would be suspicious. But like when I can't remember who is noticing, but like they put that in the line of weird events happening about Haven. It's like a cop goes to Haven and then comes back and kills himself. That's weird.
Right. I mean, they don't. They think people are all 5 years old and are not going to make the most basic connections.
Yeah, it's for these like all knowing, well, whatever. I'm assuming a lot because of aliens, but like for these creatures that seemingly have this smart plan, it's like there's a lot of things they don't think about.
They
Yeah.
seem more like a bunch of bratty teenagers that couldn't stop fighting with each other. It's probably why they fucking crashed because they were fucking arguing over who's going to drive or something.
I mean, for all we know, like, well, maybe not. Yeah, it would be in dirt too. Like, there's so much history hidden under the earth and like under the sea levels because of how much the water levels have risen. So, like, the ship could have just been there. Maybe they all died of a plague or something, and the earth just came over it.
It's possible. It got there before the rock formed.
Maybe if you would watch Ancient Apocalypse, you could understand.
Well, I guess the question, I have watched it.
I know. If you enjoyed
Maybe
it, you
not
can
the,
understand.
oh, well, that's different.
I'm kidding.
Um, wait, didn't we see it say there's like a new season or something coming out when you were over here?
It's already out. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
I'm not gonna wait to
Those
watch it with
episodes
you.
could be
Don't
a little
worry.
shorter. Like make them like 30-minute episodes. And we'll do it.
We're playing video games anyway,
Well, that's also true.
which is fine. I do
You
that
know,
too.
that's
I'm just saying.
that's a good point. I should just put it on and half pay attention.
Exactly.
Nothing does that better than the unexplained. That's my favorite. So, uh, yeah, I guess oh, we don't know how long the ship's been there. We don't know if they're alive. If they're alive, they're being quiet. That's for sure.
No, they're not.
Or
Well,
maybe.
like you're again, so for me, I am not assuming that it's just like their power that is making this happen. Like I think that there's something in control here.
But it's keeping itself hidden because we haven't, like, they're not part of the hive mind. They haven't, like, communicated or
Well, we
anything.
haven't met it yet, I guess, is what you mean. I don't
Yeah.
think it's really doing a good job of staying hidden.
What's the funeral? Do we care about it that the
That's just
town's included?
no, I think that's
Yeah.
just to show us like the whole town has now changed.
Yeah. The airplane crash, as I'm assuming is in here somewhere. And there was a whole bunch of reasons why planes don't usually fly over Haven, which I'm like bullshit. It would have happened.
Well, they said that it
Uh,
used to because like there used to be an Air Force base nearby or something, but then like too many weird things happened. And I and they started directing flights away from the area, which I feel like probably does happen. Like if there's a lot of like electromagnetic errors, why even risk flying the planes through there?
well, yeah, that's true. And like you said, the pilots are like, sometimes some of it become this dead spots or hot spots. Like they don't know why. They just know, don't fuck with it.
It happens.
Like,
I know that's a real thing, so I could believe
yeah.
that.
I can see that in an airplane. Like, I don't need to know why. Like, it might bring the plane down. I just know I don't want that to happen.
Exactly.
Um, like he could see himself going to those he was coming to think of as the shed people. Yeah, I like so we have the super secret elite group. It's like the stand where you have like the seven
Committee.
that are leading the town. Yeah. We got the shed committee.
Lucky for them. Although I don't think it really matters if you go to the shed or not. Like they're all going to the shed.
Well, where's this evolution going? Like, so now they're all putting on makeup and shit, and like, Newt and them are getting makeup tips from the ladies.
Well,
So
it's
they're
another
turning
like more.
transparent. So where does this end?
I think they're leaning towards like no longer being in a physical. Well, I maybe not like for some. I guess the bodies are changing, so I feel like if they were gonna discard them, there would be no point in that. But
You're gonna be like jellyfish, right? That's this is where we're
I mean,
going.
yeah, actually, that's probably a good comparison.
Or a squid
So,
or something.
yeah, like
uh,
well, you jellyfish are more transparent, I think, right? Yeah. Like that's
I
kind of
mean,
yeah, like tentacles and they see through and
in every alien, like this happens in the Futurama story too. It's like when you become this greater being, you evolve past needing a body. It's like you're just the brain.
yeah, that's always the trope, right?
Have
Um, I like maybe by the time we die, we can exist as consciousness somewhere.
you seen Black Mirror?
That'd be great.
Just kidding.
A few times. I gotta watch that again. I haven't watched that in a while. I forgot half of
You
it.
want to talk about a horror show? That show fucked me up more than anything.
That show
Yeah.
is so relatable and like none of it actually happened, but you could see how all of it could happen.
It's not,
Like it was,
see, yes, but more so it's going to happen is why it scares me. Like not everything,
yeah,
but there are some things that it's like it's undoubtedly going to happen. And now like I never thought about how I would think about these things and it just makes me so uncomfortable.
uh, I like the technology, like I expect, like people putting chips in their kids. That was one of the episodes. I think she put a
Oh
camera in her
yeah.
kid, right?
Well there was one where she puts it's like a child lock kind of. So it like blurs out anything that it deems is
Oh, right.
violent or
Oh
inappropriate,
no,
but
then all of a sudden the kid took it off. I was like, whoa.
yeah, and then of course because she had never experienced anything, it really fucked up her life.
It was all her mom's fault. Should have stayed out of it.
And like the whole concept of like if you could take your consciousness and there's an episode where they have like you download your consciousness into like an Alexa and it's it then becomes your personal assistant, but the AI being doesn't know that it's not, or doesn't know that it's an AI. It thinks it's you.
Oh, right. And then like when it steps over
So
the line, you like turn it off for like
yeah,
a month.
you torture it into compliance basically, so that it
Yeah.
does everything you want at any moment. And it's like it's not real, so technically nothing's happening, but the whole episode is you seeing from the perspective of the
Yeah. It makes you
consciousness,
feel
and
like it is
it thinks
real.
it's you. So like imagine, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I hate it.
Yeah. I had, yeah, it's nothing but ones and zeros, but ethically it feels really bad. Like I'm torturing something. Yeah. I remember that episode when it was like the big twist. It was like, oh, whoa,
Yeah.
that's awful. Um, yeah. I don't know how we got off on that tangent, but, I got to watch Black Mirror and I love the technology. Yeah, it's all not too far off. It's
They
just
do a
close enough to
really,
make it super uncomfortable.
exactly. It's like this is our future in like 5 to 10 years, or like,
Um,
well, never mind. We need to finish it. Never mind.
yeah. So yeah, we got a couple more. Then comes Sissy.
So
Oh, Sissy.
like Ali was saying, I happen to enjoy every part of her section. There's a little bit that's like I don't feel like I'm anything like her, but some of her attitude, I feel that in my thoughts sometimes. So I'm like, whoa, okay, maybe I need to like chill out.
Yeah,
Well,
when she met up.
it's not even that for me. It's like he makes me hate her so effectively in like 20 pages that I do not give a damn what happens to her.
Well, that's
Yeah,
also
and
true.
he does it by just making us follow her around. Just like we
20
just travel
minutes with
around with
her.
her for like yeah, and we're like, oh my god, I can't fucking stand her.
Well, and I totally
Yeah.
forgot about her because Guard talked about her a lot at the beginning, and I was like, "Oh, this terrible Anne character," and then she just comes in full force, and I was like, "Oh ho, he was not kidding."
I remember, yeah, right. She's worse than he said she was.
But
I
she is the,
remember. Yeah,
I should say, she is the quintessential Karen. Like, I think that's why it's so easy to hate
Yes.
her because she's looking to start a fight. Now, that's not what I meant when I say I relate to her, but just like she's constantly looking to make sure that you're doing everything wrong, which is the worst.
you
Yeah.
say at one point when she's talking to Gardner, like she smiled with grim satisfaction. I was like, that explains her right there. Grim satisfaction.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess she's always gotten her. He's like, what was it? The a clerk. They were out of cars, and she was like, that was no problem. That was clerk was attendant was no match for her. She mentally spit on her hands and went to work.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
And
definitely.
then,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
just
she didn't get the
reading
small car. Guys,
reading any of the customer service parts, I was just like, I you get fucked.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's why she reminds me of a Karen. And it's like, first of all, I wish she hadn't gotten her way one of those times. But
Yep.
that's why it keeps happening. I was
I
like,
mean,
oh, he did a
if
good
I'm the
job
person that
of writing that character.
yeah, but I'm like, if I'm the person at the Hertz counter, like, fuck you, bitch. You ain't getting a car now. That's for
Is
damn
it?
sure.
And the thing is, though, it is an effective tactic because a lot of people hate confrontation. They hate when people get loud and yell, and they don't. And you shouldn't have to when you're just trying to make a living, but they don't know how to stand up and set those boundaries. So they just will. It's easier to give in.
Yeah, some people don't want to have that argument.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not those
You
people.
want to have an argument? Well, I mean, I can't talk, but you
Arguments are
were
fun
never going to
sometimes.
back down from a conversation. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I won't generally start it, but I mean, if we're
Right.
gonna do this, okay, let's do this.
Well, like now that we're in it.
Yeah. I am. So, well, most people don't know how to argue. I enjoy a good argument sometimes. And then one goes,
Same.
yeah, well, fuck you. Like, okay, well, I guess you ran out of shit to say.
Yes.
I win. Um,
Exactly. Like, nice point.
yeah, I never considered it that way. I see your point and I will, think on that tonight. Yeah. Anyway. Sissy, has been running the family since she's 10 years old, I guess.
It
It
did.
sounds like Bobby has done whatever she told her whole life. And I don't know. That didn't really sound like the person I met in this book, but
No, I think so. I mean, she was very. I mean, from the bit that we knew about her, she just struck me as like, like mild mannered, keeps to herself, but friendly, like has friends. People like her. She doesn't cause any problems, but like very willing. I think, you know, sh I don't know. I think she said something about like she doesn't like a lot of people, so like she just likes to be. I don't know where I was going with that, but I could
I
see
was
her.
expecting her to come the fuck home with her. Like,
Well,
it's
because
like
I'm
that's a
sure
big expectation for, especially for an adult.
she's never ignored her calls before, even, let alone like she can't even call anyone in the town, which was also hilarious. Seeing that
Yeah,
all
I
play
know.
out was so funny.
That was
Yeah.
kind of funny. Like, is anybody even in this town? It's like, well, that's
Or
complicated.
I mean, I don't think she would have gotten away at that point, but he tries to save her at the last minute. Is like, don't go in there. You don't want to go in there.
He says it again too. He's like, just do what I said. She's like,
Mhm.
fuck off, drunk.
Mhm. Like, all right, bitch.
You think I don't know a drunk when I see one in this family? Or when a man's drunk in this family?
Said the
I'll be like,
girl
oh,
who
geez.
snorted
Yeah, amphetamines
amphetamine,
before
whatever
bed.
that is. I'm
Yeah, I
assuming
don't know what
coke.
that means. And no, he would have said coke, right?
So she's grinding her teeth, and he said like she needs
Yeah,
them to
but that's what
sleep.
amphetamines are. She was snorting speed, but I don't know what form.
Well, what else?
Basically, Adderall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't know what other form, what amphetamines are.
Yeah,
I had
those,
to look it up. Well,
there's
and I
like
know,
pills and shit that you cut, like doing like oxy, but except it was speed. You cut up the pills or you open the capsules when you snort it.
yeah. I also had to look up what it meant to psychic. Yeah,
So what?
the mom saying to Anne when she was a kid, she was like, "You're so contrary that she's a psychic." Yeah, and I was like, "The fuck does that mean?"
Oh, what does it mean? I didn't catch that.
Apparently, it like means that it would because normally she's like blocks you up and makes you can't go, makes you constipated. So psychic is like diarrhea, basically.
Oh. Well, that, yeah, amphetamines will definitely do
Yeah,
that.
I
I
think
know
I
that.
read that twice and I was like, I don't know. I'm moving on. Whatever. Like she's about to be somewhere over that won't matter. So yeah, she shows up with guns blazing and, it doesn't go the way she expected. That's for sure. So Bobby's like, whatever.
Oh
Bobby's
yeah,
actually kind of, sarcastic about the whole thing. Like,
I was gonna
oh,
say
you
she
don't
was a
like it when
little.
the shoe's on the other foot.
She was a bit of a badass about it, and that was definitely fun too. It's like, take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she clearly had never talked to her that way before.
But also, like, that is the way, like, even if she wasn't being controlled by the aliens right now or whatever, that is the way you deal with someone like that, is you just don't respond. It's like, let them get out of their system, then they see there's no response, they'll move on.
Well, like, okay, the father died. The mother's a mess. I don't know if that's how she lives or this is related to dad. She hasn't heard from her. There's not one part of her that's concerned. She's just pissed.
Right. Yeah,
I
that's
think I
what.
would be, good.
Go ahead.
I would, normal people would be like, okay, what's wrong? Like something happened to her. She's about to be on Discovery ID or something. Not, you bitch, how dare you ignore me? I'm coming to get, I'm so mad that you didn't answer my phone call. I'm coming up there and I'm getting you and you are coming back with me. How
Yeah.
dare you not answer the phone?
I didn't actually think about it
Nobody in
from
Haven
that
answers the phone.
perspective.
Sorry.
But you're right, where it's like, now granted, maybe people didn't automatically jump to they're dead when they were missing, but like, or when you
But
can't
like
get a hold of
concern
them.
at least, like what's wrong? Why,
Right. There's
like our
none of
father's
that.
dead.
It's
You missed the funeral. Like what's going on?
the whole time she really is just like, this bitch is ignoring me. I can't believe that.
Mm, yeah. She never even once considered it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Bobby's in trouble.
Maybe she's dead, yeah. Especially because you can't contact anyone in the whole town.
Yeah. Like that would get weird.
Right. So Bobby's not answering the phone and neither is the town constable who is dead, which is probably why she didn't answer the phone. But
And
uh,
then finally Newt does answer the phone and he's like, oh, okay, cool. What do you want?
oh yeah, I heard you. He's like, oh yeah, I heard you. And then he did the other thing she hated the most, and he hung up on her.
She's just in such a
She was,
fury over losing control that I don't think she's thinking about anything at that point. Like, ah,
nobody is listening to her or doing what she says, and she, I guess, has never experienced that in her life. So it's kind of,
yeah.
yeah, it's like you're right. Like 20 pages, you hate her and you understand how controlling he is, and then you like see it all fall apart right away,
It is a
and she
pretty,
can't deal.
that's why I agreed with Ali at the beginning where I was like, I like all of her stuff because it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I hate her, but I liked reading it. It
Well,
was,
right.
like, okay. And then he's like, that was no problem for her. This person wasn't going to stand in her way. God, I'm assuming she's single.
Well,
Uh,
yeah,
oh, and yeah, and then she was like playing with herself the whole time, which I didn't understand why
but
we needed that either.
in a
But
very mechanical way, or it's like she never does anything for pleasure or something like that. I can't remember what he says.
yeah, it was like taking a shower before bed. It's just something you had to
Yeah.
do. Very joyless existence for Sissy, seems like. Uh, so, and then, yeah, Bobby, I, I think Sissy screams and then we exit, stay, fade to black, right?
I love how when she tells Guard, yeah, she just freaked out and screamed and left. And he's like, uh-huh, sure.
And you're right. The Sissy who couldn't even walk, just ran away, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I showed her my crotch tentacles and she just ran away. I don't know what happened. Right. And then when they had that weird, like, sex thing or whatever that was, and he's like, did I hurt you? He's like, well, I am made of jelly, so probably a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, was, right. What did the crotch look like at that point?
I get you love somebody no matter what shape they're in, but I don't know about gelatinous. Like,
I think I would draw the line at tentacles.
uh,
Yeah,
unless you're born
maybe,
with it.
maybe more than two legs, you know?
If you're
Uh,
growing tentacles, I can't handle that.
I mean, yeah, maybe. It would depend. You would definitely have to start with the tentacles. You can't add tentacles into the mix after that.
Yeah, there's no adding limbs later on
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
and
Even then, I
leaving
don't know.
skin transparency.
Yeah, that part is, I don't know. I don't know where that's going. Like he can like see a, and why was his tongue gray? I didn't understand that.
I don't know.
I don't think my tongue's gray. Like when and then I was like, well, when I look through the side of my cheek, is my tongue gray? And I'm like, well, I don't know because I can't do
It
that.
would be
Well, if
that
you're seeing it through flesh,
right.
Maybe the flesh is gray and that's because it was getting all transparent.
Maybe.
yeah. Like maybe the tongue's not gray, maybe it just looks gray because of the like what you're seeing.
Yeah, anyway, ew. Yeah. I mean,
I
there's
don't
got to
want
be
any part of
some
it.
attraction, right? I don't think I'm attracted to jelly per se. Not in that way anyway.
No, I mean, whatever. Yeah, just makes me so uncomfortable. I don't
Um,
like again, love your body, but like that's not human.
oh, so you're a humanist. Oh wait, no, an anti-humanist.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm not saying never, but
you're a Homo sapiens. Um, okay, so I guess the only thing left now is we find the hatch. Finally, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there could be a hatch in it. They could have opened that ship anywhere and just minded it open or something.
yeah, I kind of agree with that
Uh,
too. I guess because
after
I
all
guess the
that
metal is
digging,
so indestructible that it can only be in or penetrated through the hatch.
yeah, I guess. And also, come back tomorrow and open it? Fuck you. I am not going anywhere. We are opening that shit right now and walking. You know what I've gone through for this? If it's fully exposed, let's go right now. He's like, okay, but me and you tomorrow, right? Right? We're still good? We're still boys? Oh, she's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
going to bring the shed people out here to look at it first. You know, cause they've been waiting too. And I guess takes a walk to decide that he's got to do something. I guess that was the whole point in that part.
Well, I don't know, because didn't he walk to the ship and then fell asleep next to it?
He did. What?
Which is like, what kind of plan was
Because he was trying not to drink, right? So he went and slept
that?
next to the
Yeah.
ship instead. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if that helped him or not.
Well, I don't.
Because we
I think he
found the
was still
hatch.
drinking because he said he didn't have a hangover the next day because he was so close to it. But I don't remember 100%.
Oh, maybe.
I
I
think
thought
that
he
was a
fell asleep because
story
he
that
was trying to stay. Didn't he tell her he was trying to stay sober or something?
he did. I thought that was a story, but honestly, it doesn't matter either way. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. He just woke up next to the ship the next day and Sissy ran away. And then he found her car. Oh, that
Yeah.
was the point in the walk to go find her car. He just felt like something was leading
Oh,
him there. Like he
no,
didn't
no,
know why
no.
he had went there.
He read it in her mind, and he had to go check.
Oh
Oh, is
yeah.
that what that was? I missed that. Like what
Hmm.
led it? I thought he was saying like his mind was telling him to go there, but he read that in her mind.
Yeah.
Things are getting slippery. His teeth are falling out. I like he was like, well, I've worked right next to this thing for a month. I just thought I was invincible. I guess not.
I don't.
Like,
Is it that because it's been enough time now it's finally eroding away at the protection he had, or did they amp it up? Like, what? How is that happening? Is it the first one? I guess
maybe it's both. Maybe it's getting stronger because more of it's exposed.
it's true.
So
It feels like it's
they're making it a little stronger every day. And also it's been working on him and he's been right at the source where it's the absolute strongest. I mean, you can see what it did to the town and they're miles away from that thing. And he's right in its shadow for a month straight. So I would assume it's eroding or he needs a bigger plate or something.
It's just such a. It feels like a loose conspiracy theory. I mean, like all the people with metal in their heads are protected from the secret town ops that are going on.
It's like Cell, the only people alive are the ones that weren't on the phone when the signal struck. Anybody that had a cell phone in their ear was dead.
And that was like
Back when people put
2001.
cell phone. Yeah, that was back when people put cell phones in their ears.
Well, I mean, a lot of people might actually. I don't know. Does everybody use headphones now?
Well, most people just walk around Target with speakerphone on.
Oh.
Uh, anyway, I guess, mm, did we cover it? I guess we're good, right?
Yeah, I think
Next
so.
we have the shed, which seemed like a very good place to stop the madness for a little while. Cause, uh, now it gets depressing and sick and then fun. I like the way it ends. You remember how this ends?
No, I have a flash of like an image in my head, but I don't know if that was from reading this or if that's from something else I've seen.
Okay.
So I'll have to find out.
Have you seen
I,
Event
I don't
Horizon?
remember the end at all.
Oh, good. Uh, this is actually one of my favorite endings. And I mean, after it ends, you're gonna be like, oh, right. There's really no other way that could have went.
I already feel that way
Uh,
now because their bodies are already changed.
yeah, are they just gonna like become the Tommyknockers because they have the whole mind hive thing now? Like, are they the Tommyknockers? Like, are they the aliens there? Are they gonna go back to Altair 4 and be like, what a ride that was?
I that yes, that's my prediction. Not I don't know about the ride, but they're becoming the aliens
Yeah, they didn't seem like the greatest people because everybody's mad at nothing now. They're they're just getting mad for the hell of it.
because they can't handle
He's
all
like,
that
Jesus,
power.
what did he say? Yeah, yeah. Any doctor.
Doctor Phil, that was from Charmed.
Yeah, well, whatever. I still say they could use some Dr. Phil. Maybe they could talk through some stuff.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was quoting Dr. Phil.
No, no, no. Saying they need Dr. Phil. No, I know who your favorites are.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
uh, so I guess next is Endgame, right? We find out about the shed, uh, like it or not. Um,
It'd be
it's almost
so.
like,
I know it's not
okay,
gonna happen, but like the comedic part of my brain wants to just be like, and there's nothing in there. It's just a shed.
No,
right, right. And the shed was empty. Couple, hammers, a glue gun, and, a
A
shovel,
bench, right?
right? Layer of dust. Well, we know that's not true because Peter's in there.
Yeah.
I mean, how do we know that's? My guess. What else would it be? He's like, she sneezed. Uh-oh, Peter's in the shed. I found a dog hair. I guess it all does kind of add up.
There was another conclusion. I can't remember what it, maybe it was that one. I think maybe it was that one actually. Where I was like, I don't think anybody's drawing those conclusions. Like, sure, it's a story, so you wrote it in, but that wouldn't happen.
Seems a little far-fetched, but
Yeah.
I don't have like neighbors turning into aliens in my backyard, so what do I? I might believe anything at that point. Yeah, Bob is not likable. I spent this whole time, we'll talk about it next time, I guess. And you know what she did to Peter in reading this book? I'm like, fuck you, Bobby, the whole time.
Yep, I agree.
Um, I didn't care about the people. It's a dog. I don't like what she did. So anyway, I guess we'll do that next time. I guess that's it. Everybody good?
I think so.
Yep,
Okay. What's 2 weeks? What's today? The second? Third? What the fuck's today?
third.
We got it's the third already. So that's, 17.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should be good.
Okay. Um, well, end of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
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 Bye.